Hello everybody and welcome back to the Incan Sun God Challenge. This is part 11. You guys might notice that there is a 7-year difference between the last video, part 10, and this part. I assure you it was boring. I was just putting down rebellions from a peasants' war that popped up. Our legitimacy was 0 for our previous ruler, and it happens. The peasants' war was not too bad actually. I increased the autonomy of most of my provinces to avert a crisis, and all the autonomy has seemed to set back to 0. So far, we're pretty good. I mean, nothing really happened too eventful in the last part that you guys missed. I'm just continuing my colonization efforts. As you guys can see, I'm colonizing along my coastline here to protect my inner territories from European colonization. And Rio de Prata is becoming relatively big. It is a problem, but let's see what their force limit is. It is probably going to be down here somewhere. Portuguese. That's fine. But Rio de Prata, it's only 28. A lot of these base tax provinces down here are pretty cheap. They don't give too much, so I should be able to squash Rio de Prata. And actually, I found out a unique mechanic from this particular expansion, El Dorado, is that if a colony has more than a liberty desire of 50%, if they are dragged into war by their overlord, they will not actually contribute any men into my territory. So, very, very good to know. I'm building up my manpower as we speak, making sure that my armies are somewhat balanced in composition. Of course, we could benefit from more, I guess, artillery in each of these army groups that I've got going on down here, which I'm going to do now. I'm going to give each one a one more cannon and one more horse, and trying to get France to ally me. It's a bit difficult, of course. So in the meantime, I was thinking, why don't we try to ally somebody else? Perhaps somebody that also hates Spain as much as I do. It would seem that that's either Austria or the Ottomans, and neither one will really help me too much in a war, most unfortunately. Of course, the distance between borders malice is pretty large, and it seems like that's going to prevent me from getting everybody in Central or Western Europe. Perhaps Sweden wouldn't mind? No, they are the same way, as is Norway, most unfortunately. But being without an ally, I mean, yes, it's terrible, but I think we could probably manage. So without further ado, let us continue our game. Where is Raritan? We're going to find out. Way too far away. Sorry, game. Tunja. Where's Tunja? Let's see where that is. Tunja is right up here. Let's go with that. That's not bad. How much is that going to cost, though? That's my main question. It might cost quite a bit, maybe not. How do I get into build mode? I completely forgot. I think you go up to... Well, it'll tell me once I get enough money, so no worries. And like I said, we just got out of a peasants' war, so our manpower is actually pretty good. We didn't really have to fight anybody. It's mainly just that our economy is not very good right now, and our our administration power is not too good either. Of course, I'm rapidly industrializing my economy. We are modernizing our military, which is quite good, at the expense of pretty much everything else. I mean, we don't really care too much about the Navy. That's something that will come later on. It's way more important right now to be prepared for a military, I guess, intervention on the part of Portugal or Spain. Never good when that happens, but it happens quite often, so we have to be ready for it. And I'm thinking about also supporting the independence of the next Spanish colonial province that decides to have some type of liberty desire. So let's go and improve relations with Portugal, except we're already doing that. And who else would be useful at this point in time? Perhaps Spain. Really, our diplomats have nothing to do at this point. I'm going to pull you back. So, now it's nice. I want to make each one of these a unit of 18 with 4 horse, 4 artillery, and 10 infantry per. And that would probably be pretty balanced. So we're going to go for that for each of these particular regiments. Of course, Portugal still has some units within our borders, which is unfortunate. Cool. Administrative power is fantastic. Let's go for that. as we slowly but surely modernize our country. I'm a little bit worried about Rio de Prata. Unlike Portuguese Brazil, they will come into conflict with me, which is most unfortunate, but it happens. I think that right now I should probably go ahead and start fabricating claims on Rio de Prata, as if Brazil becomes independent, they're simply too strong for me to fight at this moment. So I will definitely ally them. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and fabricate some claims, perhaps on Santa Fe. Kind of just go from there. That's way our diplomats have something to do, and life is great. Let's go ahead and see what it takes for a star fort. It takes 80 gold, so we're going to go ahead and wait for that. Because again, if you guys remember, I took a mission to improve our fortifications up here to the north, which is nice. I mean, it'll give me army tradition, and it'll give me better defense for that particular province. I don't normally build forts, but, you know, can't help. Or can't hurt, I should say. Yaru is over here. We're going to recall our colonists because that colony is about to tick. And I believe, might make sense if we snag a province over here along the borderlands. Kind of keep our borders slightly decent looking. Maybe over here. In fact, let's go ahead and do that. That's fine. It'll take a little while, of course, for that to get there, but that's no problem. 90 more days. Yaru is almost a city. Very, very nice. And I hope in this part, hopefully we can ally, or find an ally in Western Europe. I know that if France is declared war upon, I can enforce peace with them. So I guess a good case would be if Spain, for instance, were to declare war on them. That'd be freaking amazing. But I'm not going to count on it. I mean, you know how sometimes things happen in this particular game. They don't always go to plan, and we know that, so that's not a problem. Making sure all my colonies have cores. It looks like they do. Very, very nice. And Copapo, very, very good. I think right now we could probably hire another advisor, in which case we will go with a national tax advisor. Those are always great. Like I said, I'm kind of ignoring diplomatic tech just because we really don't need it to the same extent as we need the other techs. And we can go ahead and... I don't really want to do that. Now, normally I would rank up our military tech, but our military ideas, I should say, but military tech is way more important, so we will hold off on that in particular. And okay, so Portugal is no longer too upset at us. I mean, they're still a little bit pissed, quite understandably. And we got a claim against Rio de Prata. Of course, I will be extending these claims all along this particular colonial nation. That'll be important for us later on. And I'm also going to go ahead and start forming claims upon New Granada. It's unlikely. Ooh, would you look at that? Spain is involved in quite a bit of warfare here. Really, really sad for them. Are they in a defensive war with Ottomans? Let's see. They are not. It would have been nice, however, if that was the case. I think I'm going to increase my relations with them just in case if they are declared upon. Like I said, being able to enforce peace is quite strong. Really, really good. And we've blocked off this particular region from Portuguese Brazil, which is good. And let's see, fortify Morsabo, where is that? Let's find out. Oop, did I spell that wrong? I did. Morsabo. It's up here. We can do that as well. It'll give us army tradition and some more manpower. Why not? Always a good thing. And easy push missions like that are always worth taking, of course. So we will snag for the opportunity. And pretty soon I'll be able to get another colonist, which will be really nice. It'll allow me to speed up the colonization of our inner provinces here. That, of course, we already have access to. So that's good. I'm definitely going to try to colonize along the coast next. Let's go with exercising caution. It's always nice. Let's take a look at also at our economy. Of course, we have inflation problems due to the fact that we do have a huge source of gold throughout our empire. And now we have access to another colonist. Very, very, very good. I don't even have to tell you guys how good that is. It just is very good. We're going to now work on colonizing. Let's see what's available versus what we don't already have. Perhaps I should go along the borderlands here. I don't want to make my borders too ugly though. So first off, let's go and let's go ahead and go along our coast. It's probably the best thing we can do at this point. And we're going to have 5 colonies at the same time. Of course, once again, I do not have access to the El Dorado expansion at this point. I'll get it later on. So what I mean by that is I have not been able to reform my religion, which means that I do not get another free settler. Always nice to have, but I just don't have access to it, unfortunately. And we now have 5 colonists operational. We should be able to speedily conquer the rest of South America. Or colonize it, I should say. Which is very, very good. And I'm looking forward to it. And in the meantime, we will, of course, upgrade our military capabilities here. Like I said, we need both hussars and cannons on each one of these particular provinces. Oh, and let's go ahead and continue fabricating claims along Rio de Prata. Because we're probably going to go to war pretty soon, actually, which is making me pretty excited. And we have more manpower. That's very good. Let's do that. Where is Bogota? I know where Bogota is. It's modern Colombia. Right here. Why don't we do that? That's a fine mission to do. It's just that it's going to take a little while to build up the, I guess I should say, economy, because we are supporting 5 colonists at this point. I should say 5 colonies. And let's go ahead and improve our tech, of course. We're getting very close to hitting the European tech, which is really, really good. Looks like Portugal is busy in East Asia, which is really, really good, as most of their men will be over there fighting. Pretty soon, hopefully, Brazil will break away. If not, that's fine. They're not going to, of course, contribute to the war effort and a presumed Portuguese invasion. And now I have quite a bit of men to take out any European colonizers that arrive on the South American continent. Of course, I will be moving some army groups up to the north from New Granada. New Granada has quite a bit of men up there, as you guys can see. And let's go ahead and switch off from the Ottomans to France. Well, pretty soon. We'll wait for it to finish their relations. This way, like I said, we can maintain positive relations with some counterbalancing powers in Europe. Be very, very nice. Some natives, that's fine. Nothing we can't handle. And let's go and check our force limit once again, and we can do quite a bit more, which is nice. Let's go ahead and give 2 more to this guy over here. And I'm going to also start raising a military up to the north. Of course, I should probably go ahead and finish that mission, but we can wait. No worries. There's no rush, really, which is nice. And the more I colonize, the richer my country will get, which is also fantastic. Looking forward to the point where we can match the Europeans on the field of battle. I say Europeans. I think that some of these colonial nations can consider themselves South American at this point. They've been here for so long. Of course, Rio de Prata is the exception to that rule. And we're going to fabricate like crazy on them. Croatia, very nice. One more is self-sustaining, very, very cool. This one was actually not one of the provinces that I was actively colonizing. So we are going to move this guy up, as with you as well. And what we'll do is we'll abandon one of the provinces that we are actually working on. So how about these guys? We don't really need them. That's fine. My goal is to have as many colonists up at a time as possible. Oh, would you look at that? We can actually do 2 more. So let's go ahead and send one out to these guys. They're almost done. Might as well. While we cord the province there. There's a game of colonies now, ladies and gentlemen, which is very nice. What do we want to do here? Let's go with enacting. We'll do that and then increase our stability. It's fine. We now have a little bit of a bridge here connecting both parts of our country, which is always nice. Along with 5 colonies, which is super, super cool. It'll be nice once we're done colonizing all this land that we have available to us. Of course, that will increase our economic capabilities, allow us to hire a lot more mercs in the next war. And I really think that the next war, when it does happen, will go a lot more along our favor. We have a lot more stuff to fight back with now, which is really, really nice. And I'll kind of clean up the borders as well. Of course, our new core is about to hit, which is super, super cool. I just want to fix our name, as our name is not big enough at this point. It'd be cool if we can conquer or colonize the wasteland of the Amazonas rainforest, but that is not possible without mods, most unfortunately. And we're going to take a look at our trade map. It's looking pretty good. We have control of several of these trade nodes, with the exception of Rio de la Plata and, of course, Brazil itself, which is understandable. We don't have too much control in the area. And now that that's done, we will, of course, continue to fabricate more and more claims. Eventually, it'd be nice if we got claims on everything. You can stop improving relationships with the Ottoman Empire and go towards France. They are in a war. Are they in a defensive war? They are not. Usually France is not in a defensive war, as unfortunate as that is. It just happens. Looks like they just got out of war. Oh no, that's incorrect. That's fine, I guess. Even though that almost was going to complete by itself. Now we have only 4 colonies, so let's go ahead and spread things out a bit. We're going to recall you and send out somebody along the border frontier region. Before it gets too dirty looking over here, I like to clean up the border quite a bit. That's fine. And of course, we're going to core our new colonial holding. Very, very nice. And was it Pagoda, I believe? I think it was Pagoda that we will be... Here, let me go and check real fast. Okay, so Star Fort. So it'll take a little bit more money to make a Star Fort. We can wait, that's fine. Not a big deal. And has anybody taken this island yet? No, they haven't. We can, of course, go with the Galapagos Island to kind of springboard our way into perhaps Asia. Maybe I'll work on going to Australia, since we have a lot of colonists and not a lot of places to colonize relatively soon. I mean, as of this moment, we have, of course, plenty of space to move around. Pagoda, where are you at? You're right there. Getting a lot of defensive quests along the northern frontier. Another idea group, I believe this is for the military. I might just take it. Not quite yet, actually. Oh, you know what? We should go for it. I mean, that next idea group is fantastic. In fact, I think I'm going to waste my admin on going for the extra merchant. I say waste. That's pretty awesome, to be fair. I hope this Let's Play isn't too boring for y'all. If it is, feel free to skip ahead, as always. We may or may not get dragged into a war with Europe. Of course, I'm going to be taking my eye out for, I guess, independence desire. And, ooh, Portuguese Brazil is rapidly losing independence, or liberty desire, which is very, very bad news for us. But the longer they're in war for, I believe the higher their desire is. So we'll wait for that. And I'm keeping an eye out for all of these particular colonies. Okay. Not too bad. If we could somehow unrival England, it would make things a lot easier, as they just proved to be another annoyance in the warfare that we have along the continent. But I'm not keeping my fingers crossed here. It's fine. I might start fabricating claims upon Portuguese Brazil. I don't really want to, though. Really wish that their colonial desire wasn't so high. I want to support somebody, but I can't, really. We're going to fabricate claims along New Granada. Do 2 at a time, which is nice. That's fine, not a big deal. And let's go ahead and either increase our stability or... Yeah, let's go ahead and increase our stability. That's fine. It'll increase a lot of different things within our particular empire. Coffee is good. And let's go ahead and tech up with our diplomatic tech. So far, so good. Just really wish I could ally France. If I could ally France now, we can move and kind of end this thing. Perhaps someday they'll feel friendly towards me. Just not at the moment. Very, very nice. It's kind of weird to see Great Britain and Italy, actually. Very strange. Where is that? Kespuquatic? Too far away from me, sorry. We could do that. Hold on, where's Conceiso? Yeah, we can do that, why not? Just have to wait for us to be able to do so. Actually, can I even claim that? Yes, I can. Just has to take a little while. Are these guys? They are not. I was wondering if they were still our vassals. They're surrounded by the Portuguese, but they are not yet vassal subjects, which is fine. I really wish I had a province that was Catholic, because this way it would allow me to switch religions, which would be really cool. Of course, Netherlands has just declared independence. Very, very cool. If they can survive, that would be great. If not, that's also fine. Really wish the big blue blob would, you know, ally us. That'd be very helpful. But we'll get it. We'll get it someday, hopefully. Even faster if we are able to somehow reform our religion to Catholicism, or I should say, switch religions. So now we have Casus Belli along New Granada, but I really want to fabricate Portuguese Consano over here. So what we're going to do is click Portugal and fabricate claims. Consano. I wonder if you can abandon claims. That might be helpful later on. I've pretty much claimed every single province in Rio de la Plata that I can at this point. And Portuguese Brazil's liberty desire is going up now that they're in a war that they really don't want to be in, which is really good news for us. And we have yet another colony that's about to go up, which is very good news for us. I think I might start colonizing the Galapagos Islands. I mean, really, why not at this point? I'm going to recall you, of course, and let's send out... Why don't we just go to the Galapagos? What a nice place. It's a beautiful island. And we'll send out, like, I don't know, maybe like 2 guys. It's fine. And, of course, we're going to need ships to take them there. Understandable. That's so. Everything's looking good. You might ask me why I'm choosing the Galapagos. I think eventually it might be worth it for us to go colonize East Asia, or perhaps Australia or New Zealand. So that is why I am doing this. Everything's looking good so far. What was the province that I just took? Let me find it, because there was a province that I just took, and I have not yet cored it, I think. Maybe I'll find it later on. There's got to be a coreless province somewhere here, as I search around for it. Perhaps on the coast. I don't know, we've already checked that. Oh, maybe I've already cored it. Who knows? No way of knowing, really. Now we're making quite a bit of money, it seems. We could probably hire yet another advisor, because our advisors seem to have died off, most unfortunately. Right, so now we can move our men to the Galapagos Island. I should say islands. Galapagos Islands. And attach them, of course, while moving them. Very nice. So now we have our first island, which is really cool. I think prestige is a little bit less important. And where is Kes? I think this is the place that's way far away. It is. You don't really give a fuck about that. I would love to attack Portugal, but the problem is that they are allied with quite a bit of boogeymen that I really do not want to engage with right now. See, if they were not allied with Spain, this wouldn't be a problem, but they are. What do I do? Do I go for it? No, we're going to wait. We're going to err on the side of caution, as this is, of course, Iron Man. If I make any mistakes, they are permanent, which is pretty scary now that I think about it. Improve our relations with you. And let's see, should I go for the next idea group? Nah, let's, advance our military a little bit more. As much as I want to. Defensive ideas is pretty awesome. Portuguese Brazil now hates me for some reason. Most unfortunately. Because they want all my provinces. They just now decided to hate us. Which is really unfortunate. None of these are going to work, so we're just going to cancel the mission, which is fine. Kind of allow our treasury to accumulate some money. Of course, in the interim, I will be reducing inflation a little bit. It's fine. I don't really care about taking that power. I've reduced my inflation by quite a bit. I should be making a little bit more money at this point. Don't really care about Rio de la Plata. Although it saddens me that Brazil seems to dislike me at this point. I really liked Brazil. They're really cool. Let's increase our relations with Spain. And afterwards we'll rotate to France. The Ottomans are just dominating over here in the New World while we have really nothing else to do at this point. We can kind of take a look at what's going on over here in Europe. Muscovy is actually not as big as I thought it would be. Look at this Golden Horde. This Golden Horde is in a very interesting location. They're in Central Eastern Europe. And Uzbek is massive as well. Looks like the Manchu are also uncharacteristically crazy. That's fine, we don't really care. Yeah, Manchu's big, we got a unified Korea, and Japan is also unified. It looks like Portugal is interested in taking some Brunei's colonies. Spain, of course, has the Cape. And a fairly typical game outside of Golden Horde being a bit in a weird position. Should we spend our mana on anything? I don't think so. We're just gonna have money in reserve. That way, if we need mercs, we will be able to recruit them later on, which is good. What is your... okay, not too bad. And, alright, that's fine. Let's go ahead and improve our relations with New Granada while also fabricating claims upon them. Because we hate New Granada. They'll be the first to fall. If we can somehow isolate the two superpowers from each other, that'd be even better. Where's Vila Boa? Let's see. Vila Boa. We could do that. Why not? Claim our rival's province. Portugal. And we're going to claim you. Vila Boa. And once again, we are going to increase our tech. Very, very nice. We now have access to a new cannon, which we will use. And I think we'd probably afford a new advisor. Not for very long. I'm going to do that, and... if I can get a rank 1 advisor for administration, I would. But because we can't, I'm just going to hold on to that money, in case we need it later on. Of course, my military tradition is probably at an all-time low. Oh, it's at 24. That's not too bad. I think my defensive ideology tree kind of keeps it up over time, which is really nice. And of course, I'm keeping a look at all of these liberty desires. Of course, I can dismantle an empire if I can find a colony that has a liberty desire of over 50 besides Brazil, and that's going to be relatively small. Let's go with the ducats. That's fine. That's why I have plenty of ducats. Situations like this. And Kalama has almost created their colony, which is good. And we will be moving north from there to... I'm not even going to try to pronounce that name. It's too difficult. As our core is created. And it's nice that I took this little spot over here. It looks like Portugal is moving in on completing Brazil. And I think their liberty desire might go down a little bit when they add colonies. That wouldn't be too surprising. And they don't hate me as much anymore, which is also good. They're not friendly though. We're just going to cycle through the missions once again. Fairly typical. And now we're going to increase relations with France, who is the attacker against Novgorod. Interesting. Ooh, Scandinavia is united. Very, very cool. Can we somehow ally them? That'd be pretty nice. We cannot. Our distance is simply too great. The alarm just went off, but we can still let this play out for a few more minutes. That's fine. Time. Of course, our king has just died, but we have access to an even better king now, which is great. I'm going to boost our stability. Always going to have that at +1. Now that we've seen what the, you know, disasters do to your country. Absolutely terrible. And I think I'm also going to hire an explorer. Kind of go off exploring a little bit. Of course, we're going to split them up. So yeah, let's just go explore. Because like I said, I'm going to start sending my colonists to the east. Maybe get some more money in the process, which would be nice. Just looking around now at this point. Okay. Always keep your eye on your sailors, by the way. Or I should say explorers, as they tend to die in the middle of the ocean if you're not looking at them. We're just going to maintain it on France, that's fine. And repair our explorer quite a bit. The next time we will probably go out to find at least Tahiti, which is to the southwest. Take a look. Now that he's healed up, we will go back out. And try to explore as much as we can. Yet another mission. Let's see what it is. None of these are good, so we're going to cancel them once again. What policies do we have access to? We can... That's pretty good, but I don't have access to it yet, so we can't do it. I know all of this is blank ocean, but if you're like me, you like to explore it anyways. Kind of get these blocks of gray off of the screen, so to speak. Totally worth it in the long run. And let's go ahead and take him back to one of these ports along the coast. Pretty nice. We have pretty nice borders here. I mean, they're pretty clean. I mean, we don't have as much of South America as I would like, but by and by, I'd say that these are not too bad of borders. We are friendly with Portuguese Brazil, which is also really good. Let's just do that for now. That's not a big deal. And now that that is repaired, we are going to send it back out to the west in search of islands to colonize after Galapagos. I think my colonization range will be high enough. We'll see. I'm not 100% sure. But we can always check. Of course, there's a lot of distance here between the islands at this range. Okay, time to send him back to our territory before they die. That would be very unfortunate if that were to happen. Okay, cool. So they're repairing, which is good. And I think we're getting really close to one of the colonies. I believe it's down there to the southwest. And Coxum is almost colonized as well, which is also really good. Alright, so Coxum has been colonized. Very, very good. And we're going to send out our next colonist up here to the north. All very, very good base tax as well, which is nice. And which idea group is it telling us to go? One that we really can't afford to do. So where's Epora? Probably like right here. Yeah, let's go with that. That's fine. Claiming all these provinces that are popping up along this border. Really annoying that I have to go all the way over here to claim it, but that's just how this game works. France is still in a war as well. And we can send out our explorer. This time we're going to the west. And perhaps the southwest too, if I think that we can have enough time to survive between this voyage. And I think we can. This time we'll actually discover one of the islands, which is really, really good. Good, good, good. Get another Casus Belli against Portugal. And it turns out that there's not actually an island over there. Must be quite the gap here between islands. Deep, deep in the Pacific Ocean. Hopefully we can get our explorer back before he dies. I think it'll be a very, very close call. It was, but we were able to pull him back. Yet another core province, very, very good. And now I'm going to go ahead and end this particular challenge. We just got yet another merchant, which will give us more manpower and discipline, which is really, really good. Or I should say, yeah, manpower, fantastic. What I'm going to do for the merchant is, let's go ahead and see where they'd be best utilized. I, of course, want to be steering trade up into my capital, Lima. So I think we're going to set one over to... We could do Rio de la Plata, or even Patagonia, but Patagonia would not actually give me access to... Yeah, we're going to send him to Rio de la Plata. It's fine. Transfer trade, Marcavello, Macavilca, not sure how to pronounce that. Let's see if that increases our trade at all. Trade is at 6.83. Now it's at 6.83. I don't think it really did anything, but that's fine. And like I said, guys, thanks again for stopping by and watching the 11th part of the Sun God Challenge. The next part will be much more interesting as we finish off the colonization of South America and bring our army up to speed with the Europeans. And we can actually stand a chance, I think, at attacking Portugal and establishing a South American hegemony over the region. So I'll see you guys in the next part. Thanks for watching, and see you later.